Hollywood has come a long way since the first cinematic car chase was committed to celluloid back in 1903's Runaway Match. Nowadays, there are no limits to the speed, locations, or even volumes of vehicles that can be involved in a good chase scene. And over the last few decades, the intensity of movie road races has increased exponentially. It's not just about how revved up the sequences can look due to computer-generated imagery and daring stunt work. Modern movies have also found new ways for their roadway action scenes to stand apart from the crowd through clever character focus, unique camera angles, and other innovations in filmmaking. Gunpowder Milkshake is the latest example of an action film that puts the pedal to the metal with a slick car chase. With unique twists and some clutch narrative moves, Gunpowder Milkshake proves that a good car chase scene can be about so much more than fast wheels and wreckage. But high-octane scenes like this didn't come out of nowhere. Here's a look back at how car chase scenes have become so much more extreme over the years.
So, here's an unrelated question. Do you know how to drive?
Most film historians agree that the first car chase put to film was in the black and white film Runaway Match in 1903. There were a few after that, like the 1924 Buster Keaton comedy Sherlock Jr. and 1931's The Big Gamble. But even though car chase scenes certainly existed in movies before the late 60s, the blueprint for many modern movie chases can be found in one of the most enduring films of the decade, 1968's Bullitt, starring the one and only Steve McQueen. The film's 10-minute action sequence through San Francisco is widely regarded as one of the most influential ever, thanks in no small part to its revolutionary array of camera angles that gave audiences multiple vantage points. The crafty construction, styling, and editing of the scene made a lasting impression on Tinseltown and increased what was possible for cinema's car chase sequences. The very next year, in 1969, the British comedy caper The Italian Job introduced yet another of the most memorable chase sequences of all time. The film featured Michael Caine as a criminal ringleader who manipulated the traffic control system in Turin to allow his team to escape in their envoy of Mini Coopers after a big gold heist. In this case, it wasn't any sprawling damage that made the sequence stand out. Instead, it was the tight synchronization of the maneuvers and increasingly unpredictable obstacles that made the scene so satisfying to watch. Shortly after that came another game-changing chase scene in 1971's The French Connection. William Friedkin's classic crime thriller, which absolutely dominated at the 44th Academy Awards, starred Gene Hackman as Popeye Doyle, an NYPD detective who commandeered a car to chase after a speeding elevated train. With a range of tight shots, including the now classic view of the street ahead from the front bumper of the vehicle, the scene was highly immersive and helped to usher in a new era of heightened expectations for car chases. Thanks to movies like these, car chases in movies became even more robust. It became increasingly commonplace for major car chase scenes in action flicks and comedies alike to incorporate some death-defying jumps, along with an onslaught of new car stunts. Many of these films also made sure to distinguish their signature vehicles with bright colors and insignias to make their journeys even more exciting and memorable. For example, 1974's Gone in 60 Seconds featured a jaw-dropping 40-minute car chase that included dozens of cars being damaged or flipped along the way, all before the prized vehicle Eleanor was launched 128 feet over a traffic jam. The sheer length of the chase sequence might have made the movie memorable enough, but with that gravity-defying stunt, the pick was an instant all-timer. The same year, the James Bond film The Man with a Golden Gun pulled off an unbelievable corkscrew jump. Then, 1977's Smokey and the Bandit injected some humor into its hot pursuits, often developing the story and characters during the car chases.
Why don't you just drop me off here? I'll catch a cab.
Too late now.
And 1979's Mad Max kicked off an entire franchise of racing scenes across wild terrains, giving us moments that were gritty, highly imaginative, and violent, carrying entire storylines on the hood of that iconic Interceptor. At this point in time, vehicular carnage was fast becoming king. The 1980 classic The Blues Brothers culminated in a chase involving the spectacular collision of dozens upon dozens of police cars. The film stunts were completely real, and over 100 vehicles were ravaged in the making of the movie. All of these films continue to take risks and stretch the limits of what a good car chase could look like in film, and they earned some primo parking spaces in the lots of Hollywood's Hall of Fame. With the turn of the decade into the 80s, car chase scenes became just as elemental to action plots as explosions, heavy artillery, and muscle-bound heroes.
We need your truck.
Hurry!
And as the prevalence of car chases accelerated, so did the focus on increasing the stakes for the characters involved. Some of the most epic chase scenes to emerge in the 80s and 90s included the tanker attack from the Road Warrior, the canal chase in To Live and Die in LA, and the explosive T-1000 chase in Terminator 2. After the success of T2, the 90s was all about upping the ante for white-knuckle car chases. Just a few epic moments from the 90s include the Dusty Desert Run in Thelma and Louise, the destructive city drive in The Rock, and the Paris chase in Ronin. Even amid an increasingly crowded field of cinematic car chases, these films managed to stand out by adding unique and often daring twists to the conventional action format. And as we headed into the 2000s and beyond, the only limits were the filmmakers' imaginations. Thanks to an increase in CGI and green screen techniques, coupled with impressive practical effects, car chases somehow became even more intense than they already were after the turn of the millennium.
Cars don't fly! Oh, shit!
Franchises like The Fast and the Furious, The Matrix, Mission Impossible, The Bourne Identity, and John Wick put a lot of effort into one-upping each other and themselves with exhilarating chase scenes filled with death-defying stunt work. Even among these, you find a huge range of techniques. While a lot of these franchises rely on CGI spectacle, The Bourne Identity utilized a gritty close-quarters filming style to add a current of realism to its big action scenes, especially in its innovative Paris chase scene. And the Mission Impossible series famously features an enormous amount of on-screen stunts.
Do you have your seatbelt on? Will you asking me that now?
Thanks to blockbusters like these, the notion of people hopping to and from moving cars and reaching impossible heights with grounded vehicles wasn't so unusual, and filmmakers started finding even more tricks to take their chase scenes to the finish line. Memorably, Extraction took its extended chase scene across all manner of difficult terrains, and managed to pull off a roving 360-degree view of the perilous journey, with close-ups, wide shots, and every other vantage point audiences could possibly want to take in the action. But it's not just slick styling and daring stunt coordination that's taken modern chase scenes to the next level. Many recent films have also begun to use their car chase scenes as devices for true character development, while still keeping all the intensity intact. Consider how Baby Driver and Drive both featured memorable chase scenes as introductory moments for their lead characters, who each stand out for using their wit, resourcefulness, and unstoppable driving skills to get themselves out of a jam. Similarly, Gunpowder Milkshake also utilizes its garage chase to reveal something important about Emily's tenacity and growing bond with Sam. Even though a few cars and bodies get smashed along the way, the scene proves that a solid chase scene can be about so much more than clashing metal, and it shows how filmmakers are constantly innovating what's possible with car chases on the silver screen.
Are your eyes still closed?
Yes.
Good girl. Put it in reverse.
Thanks for watching. Click the links in our video to watch more from Netflix Film Club. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to get the latest exclusive videos. Plus, hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.